What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Montielverse, and today we're going to talk about an article that the Sportster came out with 4 days ago in regards to the Shield. So this article talks about 3 things each Shield member does better than the other, or is best at. Alright, so obviously the Shield has been very prominent in WWE success for all through the 2010s, ever since 2013 or technically 2012 on, when they made their debut, all the way to 2019, they were a big part of WWE. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns are probably the 3 greatest wrestlers of this generation. It is without a doubt, in my mind, they are the greatest faction to ever step foot in WWE. Now, and I know it's debatable. A lot of you guys are going to say it's the 4 Horsemen. A lot of you guys are going to say it's DX. You know, all the factions out there. Some of you might even piss me off and say the New Day. But let's just face facts. These 3 guys, look at them any way you want. They made a huge impact, all right? All 3 can stand on their own. All 3 are former world champions. One's a current, world champion in WWE. He has both belts, the undisputed WWE Championship, and obviously Moxley is the AEW World Champion, and Seth Rollins is the current United States Champion. So this article kicks off with saying Roman Reigns playing a dominant heel champion. Apparently he's the best at that. Roman Reigns' last 2 years at WWE have proven that he is one of the most dominant champions of all time. Reigns' personality comes across as nuanced at times, but he always retains a matter of scariness due to the power he holds both over WWE and his faction. Since winning the Universal Championship 2 years ago, he has rarely looked like dropping the belt, and even when he has still preserved and won the match. He is proof that a dominantly booked heel can be badass, but still be booked as a bad guy and get booed. Yeah, I've been saying this forever. Ever since Roman Reigns became the head of the table, and ever since he embraced that character, he has been on a whole different level. And, just look at the box office, look at the views, look at the subscriptions toward Peacock, look at the feedback he gets from the fans. He has carried this company for the last 2 years. And the only thing I regret saying is it took him 7 years, not 7 years, more like, 5 years to find himself, because they gave him that spot in 2015. Once 2015 rolled around, they decided that Roman Reigns was the guy to go with over Rollins and Moxley. Obviously, there was a lot of shit wrong with what Vince was doing and how he was booking Roman Reigns, and it wasn't until 2020 when he became the head of the table that we get to see his true potential. And yeah, Moxley nor Rollins can play a character like this the way he can. There's just no way. It just wouldn't fit them. It wouldn't fit who they are. And it would be ill-advised to book them like this. So, now this goes to Moxley, passionate promo work. Now, before I read whatever the hell this guy writes, it's true. Ambrose / Moxley has always been the best at promo work. Roman Reigns, he does his thing, especially now, but he's always been, in my opinion, I'm a big Roman Reigns fan, right? I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. But to my opinion, he's been the worst on the mic since day one, and even still kind of today when it comes, to comparing him to these 2 guys. He's the worst on the mic out of the Shield, definitely. Rollins is good. He gets his message across, and he gets you, invested for a long period of time in, what he's saying. Jesus. He pretended to be, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, whatever. Now he's a revolutionary, whatever, and he's able to draw people in and give a crap about what the hell he's saying. And he's obviously been better as a heel than a face, but it's like, how many people do you know that can get that over? That's the thing there. So, as we go on here, for John Moxley being the most passionate, in promo works, the promo work for all 3 men has consistently been improving, just like I said, since the days in which they first debuted on WWE's main roster. But Moxley's has always had one of the more unique promo styles in the world. Oh yeah, if you go back to his CZW days, the type of dark promos and the type of storytelling that he would convey to you in those promos backstage, on the streets, in a dark place in the locker room. Like, it's just, he's totally next level. Totally next level. When Moxley talks, it doesn't feel scripted. It really doesn't. It feels authentic and from the heart. There is perhaps no one in professional wrestling today, aside from maybe Eddie Kingston, that can elicit the sort of response and emotion that Moxley can with the microphone in his hand. Yeah, see, because there's different types of promo work that get to people. There's talking shit all day like CM Punk, you know, roasting people, burning people, whatever you want to say. And there's people like him who are straight shooters, tell it like it is and tell you what they think from right here. And he does that better than anybody today. So, yeah, I agree with that. Next, we have Seth Rollins playing Cowardly Heel. That's a given. Rollins has always been a little bitch. I know it's scripted, whatever, that's his character, but I can't stand Rollins. But that's who he is. There's nobody better that can play a Cowardly Heel better than Seth Rollins, especially when there's authority days. Whilst Roman Reigns can play the dominant heel, well, Rollins is perfect when playing a cowardly chicken poo heel. Okay, this guy he knows how to choose his words, I'll give him that. During his time in the authority, he was a major highlight in WWE with brilliant character work, the perfect set of lackeys, and a great WWE Championship reign. Yeah, I mean, this guy cheated so many freaking times. When you talk about Roman Reigns cheating, this guy cheated every single match. I was watching the Shield story, as I call it. I basically watched all their matches, every single one of them from 2012 all the way to when the Shield was disbanded, plus, you know, all the shit that's happening currently. And while I was watching his championship reign in 2015, there is not one time where he didn't cheat. But it totally fits him, and he plays it well. I don't see Moxley or Reigns playing a cowardly heel. They especially Moxley. Reigns has his little moments or whatever, but when it comes down to it, he actually stands and fights. Anyway, moving on, they give it back to Roman Reigns for leading a faction. All you have to look at is the bloodline. Now, when the Shield was together, it seemed to me that Dean Ambrose was the leader of the Shield. It wasn't Reigns and it wasn't Rollins. But, you know, as time grew on, people started changing the scripts and just started writing the stories differently. It says here, John Moxley's Blackpool Combat Club is fun, but he isn't really a leader and they haven't yet felt like a strong force. Seth Rollins' time as a Messiah saw him lead a group including Buddy Murphy and the AOP, but neither of those compared to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. It's true, and a lot of that has to do with his character. His character does not tolerate BS from anybody in the group. He's like, I'm the head of the table, you listen to me, if you don't listen to me, I will beat you senseless in the middle of that ring. That's his character. Reigns as the head of the table is fantastic, with him leading a faction involving members of his family. The faction may be the best in professional wrestling today, and Reigns as the leader is something that works perfectly. Every member is allowed to be given a personality despite Reigns being the main focus. And that's true. This reign and this run have gotten people invested in somebody that nobody thought they could get invested in. And that would be Jey Uso. You didn't give a shit who Jey Uso was. You didn't care what his backstory was. All you know is that he's an Uso. All you knew is that he was an Uso. He was Jimmy's twin brother, and Jimmy's the one, you know, that married Naomi, and that's that. This story made you get behind Jey Uso. A lot of you guys back in 2020 when he was fighting Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. A lot of people got behind him. And this is what Roman Reigns does. He elevates everybody he steps in the ring with, especially his immediate family. Jimmy, Jay. I mean, even Paul Heyman. I like Paul Heyman better because of Roman Reigns when he was with Brock Lesnar. Now Solo Sikoa is getting his big shot. Sami Zayn isn't even related, and they're still making this storyline intriguing and want you to tune in. They make you want to tune in every single week to see what Sami's gonna do. Not a lot of factions can do that. Absolutely not. And as far as them being the best faction today in WWE, I absolutely agree. I don't know if they're the greatest or most dominant faction of all time because Roman carries that whole thing there. It's not like the Shield where they can pull their own weight. So Then they give it back to Jon Moxley playing the babyface. Totally true. Roman Reigns got booed as a face, and so did Seth Rollins. Okay, Roman Reigns tried the face thing because of Vince McMahon, and he wanted him to be the next Rock, pretty much, and that didn't work out for anybody. He needed to be himself, and he finally did, and he broke out as a heel with that. You don't take a heelish character from the Shield and all of a sudden try to make him the next Cena/Rock. It just doesn't work. So, and then Rollins, his face work is alright, but it's nowhere near Ambrose/Moxley's. It's just not. I mean, when he was the face of the WWE with the Universal Championship and he was a good guy and he was fighting The Fiend, he got booed. Big time. And it's no secret that even his work against Brock Lesnar, people got behind him, but people will still cheer him more with more emphatic passion when he's a heel than when he's a face. Seth Rollins, mind games. Yeah, it's a given. It's like, now we're stating the obvious. This man knows how to play mind games. And all you got to do is look back at the 2021 Royal Rumble. No, I'm sorry, 2022 Royal Rumble. And see the type of mind games he plays with Roman Reigns. Bringing back the fact that he betrayed the Shield. And getting in his head. Making him think that he can't beat him straight one-on-one match without Paul Heyman, without the Bloodline. If you go back a week ago, he did it to Bobby Lashley. He got in his head about being a soldier and being a fighter, and the fact that if he didn't fight Seth Rollins that night, it was a disgrace to the entire country. So yeah, he's best at that. Roman Reigns telling a story in the ring. Yes. Now, Seth Rollins might be the best in-ring performer. Reigns, I think, is the best storyteller. Every single story since, he's been the head of the table, and even kind of beyond that, he's always gotten the message across. He's always told a great story. I mean, him versus Jey Uso in Hell in a Cell 2020, it might be one of the greatest stories in recent memory. Might be even the best. And that's what wrestling is about, is storytelling. And he does that flawlessly. There's not one story where I've been genuinely bored with Roman Reigns and what he's doing in the ring. There's not been one story. I mean, shit, he got us back into the Brock Lesnar rivalry. I mean, who saw that coming? I mean, SummerSlam, that will forever be ingrained in my mind. I won't be thinking about WrestleMania 34 or all the other matches that didn't matter. I'll be thinking about that match when I think about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And that's hard to do when you've had a legacy of matches that just don't measure up to the hype that they were built up to. Jon Moxley elevating others. It's true. I would have made an argument for Roman Reigns, but I'll take this. Anytime Jon Moxley steps foot in the ring, it feels as though his opponent always benefits. Even in matches where he's more dominant, those in the ring are still allowed a time to shine and get their key stuff in, being elevated in the process. Yeah, I mean, AEW is already the underdog when it comes to viewership and, the grand scheme of things, obviously, because WWE is just it's WWE. And Moxley is not one of those selfish guys like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or even Shawn Michaels. He allows himself to let the underdogs or less known names in the public eye get close to beating him, or even they do beat him, because he cares about the future of the company and he cares about the future of wrestling. He's very selfless that way. So there's no argument for me there. I mean, Darby Allin, his match with Darby Allin 2019, that's all I gotta say. Eddie Kingston in 2020. The matches he's had in AEW this year, I mean, he's getting you to be invested in guys you've never heard of. And that's big. And finally, we have Seth Rollins, consistently high-quality matches. And it's true. Both Reigns and Moxley have elements of their in-ring work that are great, but from a purely work rate and in-ring standpoint, Rollins is one of the most consistently high-quality workers on the planet. I've said it all the time, and that's just facts. I believe that Seth Rollins is this generation's Shawn Michaels. Him and AJ Styles put on banger after banger after banger after banger. I mean, geez, man, it's just ridiculous. Those guys have a high work rate. Those guys give a shit about the fans. They'll show up any single day of the week. I mean, Seth Rollins fought Triple H at WrestleMania 33 with a 103-degree fever, plus his injury. That takes a lot of guts. That's like, it's crazy. I mean, the matches with Riddle, the matches with Roman Reigns, the matches with Cody Rhodes. I mean, you can go down the line. This guy puts on amazing matches. And that's what today's audience wants to see. Banger after banger after banger after banger. I know I'm kind of stealing Sheamus' shit, but you know, whatever. Anyway, guys, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do you agree with the article from Sportster, or do you have some different opinions on it, different takes on it? Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.